I'm a wizard, she's a cleric, and he's a multiclass. Welcome to Crap Guys in D&D.
Do 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 do.
We're gonna teach you how not to play. Step 1. Take lightning bolt. Step 2. Find a reflective surface. Step 3. Have at it. Step 4. Pass out for a bit. Step 5. Profit.
Are we ready for sound check?
Sound check is complete.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well then.
Step
dear.
1, watch your wizard kill themselves. Step 2, mock furiously.
I feel like with you, there wasn't even a bridge between step 1 and 2. That was just step 1.
It really wasn't. It really was more step 1.5, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Well then. Let's get started. Who would like to tell me what happened last time? Jesse, that's normally you.
We promised. Yeah, no, I know. I was gonna say we promised Kelso he would never have to do the review. Right.
In my defense,
Um,
my response was I never wanted to do it after a very long intermission.
That's fair.
Are you volunteering then, Kelso?
I don't know
it-
what you're talking about. I can. I don't have the document to read, so I'm just gonna go off of what I can remember. So it's probably gonna be out of order.
I can fill in.
We went
gaps.
to a black market. We did some shopping. And then watched Zephyr participate in a gladiator match. Darian placed a bet on him. Am I branching into the episode before last? I feel like
Yep.
I am. Where did that episode end?
That episode ended with Zephyr in the cage fight having killed the frog. It's pretty much exactly where it ended.
We went into sewer.
Right, we
fought
were on our way out
Otug,
the door. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Went to sewer, fought big fleshy thing called Otyug, got almost eaten.
Everyone Misty stepped away, except for Zephyr.
Everyone Misty stepped except for Zephyr. Misty Step gang. Rin and Darian got along real well, but Rin is Rin, and he decided to Sinbad his way into the shitty water just to splash Darian. We found a Kenku by herself after we fought the monster thing.
We
Themselves.
What?
Themselves.
Right.
Themselves. It's a bird. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah. I'm generalizing. Yeah. Found a Kenku.
We're trying, okay? A lot of us don't deal with gender non-binary.
Facts. We brought them back. The lady in red was definitely not happy, genuinely not happy with the fact that that entire situation arose, and definitely is going to hold a grudge and probably do something about that in retaliation. Rin left his assassin token just to say, hey, I'm available. We got some more magical things. We're pretty. I got my fuse charges. I was happy. Because I don't know how to look for things. And we were very tired and very bloody, so we just went home and went to sleep.
Most
Well,
of us
some
went
of
home
you.
and went to sleep.
Oh, yeah, Liberty went to, I don't know
The
where
shrine.
she went.
church.
Take me to church.
Take
Pretty
me to
much.
church.
I beat her to it.
And talked with a voice that one would suspect is not Amada.
A big grumpy cat. She talked to a big grumpy cat.
Yep, that's
I
definitely.
can't do the Cheshire Cat voice.
Big grumpy
I don't
cat.
even know how the Cheshire Cat voice goes, but I could probably do that
It's-
Some go
it-
this way, others go
It's a
that
weird
way.
sort of Winnie the Pooh.
Sun go
It's
this
done
way.
by
Yeah,
the
it's
same
the
voice
same-
actor. That's
That-
why.
Voice
that
actor.
close?
And I could never do the Winnie the Pooh voice. I always wanted to though.
It's the same person.
Rumbling in my tumbling.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Also
you,
the same
Forge.
person. Also the same person who did Ka the snake.
Mm-hmm.
Checks out.
Yes. Yes. Funny, Winnie the Pooh, and then scary. Not full-on villains, not even necessarily antagonists, but chaotic neutral at best.
Hi.
Definitely very Fey.
Yes.
Anyways, but yes, Liberty was visited by a voice in the night, and
Did not
then
like, do not want.
as her rest concluded, she ended up losing max hit points
Because
She's still poisoned,
disease
right?
from Ultiag.
because she is still
Yeah.
diseased. Gonorrhea.
I'm so glad we were recording.
I was gonna say gangrene.
Nope, not anymore.
Definitely meant to say
To be
gangrene,
fair,
and ended up saying gonorrhea instead. And now I'm not taking it back. It's too funny.
Yeah, best part is you can't take it back. It's
Nope.
recorded.
It's recorded. I'm sticking by it.
whatever it is, Dottie. Zafir has it too now.
So Liberty, early in the morning, you started making your way back to the Ramtook estate, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it's about first light of day by the time you make it back. And the house is just starting to stir as well. As you walk in the front door, Zafir is kind of curled up in a unhappy ball on one of the sofas. While you can smell tea and coffee coming from the kitchen.
I'll approach Zafir first, and that wound still bothering you? Let me see.
He'll let you see the wound, and it definitely hasn't healed all the way.
Lesser restoration.
Okay, yep, that'll do it. You cast
And
Lesser
then-
Restoration, and you feel the divine magic pass through you and into him as you watch the wound begin to clean itself and begin healing.
Thank goodness Zafir's the only one in the room, because she lets out a sigh of relief that seems little more relieved than one would expect. And
Thank
then
God,
I
Fear is socially dense.
Yeah, he'll in
and-
response to that say, "Yes, I know it was a very bad wound. It's nice to see it healing again."
But, I should probably take care of my own as well. I was too worn out last night to do so. And I'll cast Lesser Restoration on myself as well. Now, does that just, because it gets rid of the maximum hit point decrease, are we back to full, or am I still going to need to heal us to get us back to full?
I think it just heals you back to full. I might.
Because it
I'll have to.
removes the disease. So
It removes the disease, so I think so. I'll have to look it up later. So that might change, but for now, yes.
okay. Is Rin up yet?
I haven't seen him yet, but that is nothing new.
I need to speak with him very quick. Glad to see that you're looking much better now.
It's nice to be feeling much better. I am actually going to go get coffee now. And he stands and walks
Smells
away.
Like Rain is very busy in the
As she always is, as he pushes the doors open.
Any sign that Rin has been sleeping in the kitchen again?
The
Would you
tail
like to
hanging
make?
out of one of the cabinets would be a dead giveaway.
I'll let that. Yeah. Yep. That.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to wake him up for this
He's awake.
conversation, but
The
I'll hang
tail
out
flicks
for
back
now.
and forth every now and then like
has
a cat.
Rain started on tea or coffee yet?
Yeah, no, you can smell it from the kitchen.
Is coffee ready?
You'd have to go in and see.
Or just yeah, I'm walking in
Okay.
behind Zephyr. Sorry, I should
There is
clarify.
a pot, and Zephyr is currently getting a cup poured for him. Rain will see you over his shoulder and say, good morning. Would you like some coffee?
I would love a cup of coffee. Thank you.
Right, that's enough for you, Zephyr. But there's still room in the cup. If I give you more, you're going to spill it on the way to the table. Now get. And he walks away. And she pulls out a mug for you and pours you a mug. Long night?
Thank you.
Long night?
Is Darian up yet this morning?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
it's
I think she's
a
intentionally
long
ignoring
day
it.
that's probably
Okay.
been a long night, yes.
I believe that Rin is in that cupboard over there. He hasn't made any noise yet. Other than a
He's humming.
few hissing noises when I passed earlier.
He's humming.
Is there polka music yet?
It is actually not polka
Rin
music.
was hissing at her.
If you're familiar with the opening bars of the Journey soundtrack, he's basically humming that.
Fair enough. That is one I need to add to this playlist. That's fair.
Wait, are we?
Anyways,
We're not talking about Journey the band. We're talking about something else.
No, we're talking.
we're
about
talking
Journey
about the game.
Okay.
I wish Journey the band had a soundtrack, but no.
I mean,
Soundtrack is a very specific wording that you don't normally apply to.
Well, because I'm over here feeling like an idiot. Because mentally, I'm thinking it's like, I mean,
don't stop.
it's like that's a lot of notes though for its opening. That's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of staccato.
But yes, you
Right.
hear some music coming from the upper cabinet.
Rin, would you like a cup of coffee?
No thanks. Don't touch the stuff. It dulls the mind.
But he drinks.
That's not been my experience, but to each his own. Alcohol doesn't dull the mind, but caffeine. Caffeine is from the devil.
Says the literal devil.
I'm not allowed to make the jokes, so thank you.
Nobody knows this yet. Allegedly. Alleged devil.
Accusedly.
Right.
I will say that Darian, last night when he went and checked on things, he he went ahead and attuned to those 2 charges and spent the remaining 2 third level spell slots he had on
Okay,
him.
they are charged then.
Darian will come downstairs and greet everyone and have himself a pot of coffee.
There
Or
seems
a
to
cup
be a
of coffee.
party in the kitchen at the moment as you
He notices.
step in.
Mhm.
He's grown a bit accustomed to having this many people in his house though at this point. He's certainly had more
That's
before.
fact. He must secretly be an extrovert. At least these ones aren't actively trying to kill him.
Yet.
Yeah.
Anyways, what are you all doing?
Liberty is going to lean against the cabinet next, or the counter next to the cabinet that Rin is in. Is the cabinet door like mostly closed with just the tail peeking out of it?
No, it's fully open.
Okay.
He's just got the whole of his body except for his tail inside the cabinet.
Fair enough. So she'll kind of lean against the countertop and just, I owe you an apology, Rin, for snapping at you yesterday. I'm sorry. I was stressed, but I should not have taken it out on you.
You should roll an insight check.
Oh no. Okay. You're not immune to charm, are you?
No, I am not.
Perfect.
You don't have to roll very high.
Well, too late. I already rolled a 25.
Fantastic. Rin is absolutely not paying attention. He's got a book open in his hands, and he's looking. He's spending a significant amount of his energy doing something with it.
Is it the Book of Bones?
No, he's it looks like he looks like he almost looks like he's decoding it.
What does is there a title on the spine of the book?
Nope.
Or can I see the front cover?
It's just a plain brown book.
DM, does this book look like any kind of tome that I'm familiar with?
It does not look eerily similar, no.
Okay.
He has not picked Liberty's Pocket yet.
Well, yeah, no, it's not a brown book. Anyway. That's fine. Yeah, so seeing that he is I used up all of my long words earlier today.
Preoccupied.
Oh, well. Yeah, very preoccupied. Liberty will go, well, I will get out of your way, Rain, unless you need anything from me in here. I'll wait in the dining room.
Nothing from any of you. I'm almost finished with putting together the essentials, and I'll be out soon.
Thank you. And I will go have a seat, put my bag on my lap, and just kind of sit and wait.
A few minutes later, the meal is brought out and set at the table. Just some basic flatbreads. Nothing too terribly special, some coffee and tea. Rin, are you joining the group that sits at the table? Because I assume everyone else is sitting at the table either way.
He'll I feel like he'd grab a plate and lean against a wall or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still looking through the book while absentmindedly eating?
Yes.
He's balancing the plate on his tail while...
Sounds
Yep.
about right.
I actually like that image.
Of course it is. It's over the top.
Watch some like rules lawyer come in and actually a tiefling tail isn't prehensile and wouldn't be able to, at which point we get to remind everyone that Rin is a changeling, so he can adjust the
And at which point I'll get to remind whoever it is that in the tiefling description it has prehensile tail listed.
Oh, it does? Sweet.
Yep. So
That's way better.
rules boy there can eat me.
Their tails are just not
Would
normally
not
strong
recommend
enough to
it.
actually like wield a weapon, which is the only time that it actually
enough.
normally comes into play.
Fair enough.
What's roleplay? That said, after breakfast, Darian will head over and talk to Rain. Rain,
Are you pulling away from the table, or are you?
after breakfast?
Okay, so you guys all enjoy a meal together, and people start moseying away.
I'm waiting. Yeah, no, I'm waiting until Rin is less enraptured with this book before bringing up any major conversation.
Fair enough.
Brain, are you heading to the bookstore today?
That was the plan. I am the one who has to be there for it to open unless you're going to take a shift today.
But
I wouldn't mind
what day
a,
is it?
a weekend. It has been quite a while.
What day is it?
It is Thursday.
Is it only Thursday?
When?
I've
It
I've
was
been a little
Thursday.
busy as of late.
Wait. No. It would have
It
been
is Wednesday.
It would have been a Wednesday. It's Wednesday because
Yep.
Bazaar Day was Tuesday, and we
Yeah, it's
just
only the
got
day
home
after,
from
yeah.
that last night.
It is Wednesday,
That makes more sense.
which technically should have its own name in our world, but hey, I don't care.
Yeah, because then we'd have to translate
yet.
that.
Woden's Day.
Odin's Day.
These are some of the names will be translated for ease of audience. That's our assumption here, just like Tolkien did.
Just like Tolkien. Anyways,
With
Like
Hobbit
a
Christmas.
The only show with an actual explanation as to why everyone speaks English.
true.
um, if you want, you could take a half day. I will go in with you. I have some business I wish to take care of.
Sure.
Lost my train of thought.
Well, I am leaving in about 5-10 minutes.
Okay. Let me head upstairs and grab my things.
All right. About 5 minutes later, she is at the front door waiting for you.
Shall we?
We shall. You guys make your way out.
What you two? I'm assuming that conversation happened outside of hearing range.
More or less. Are you stopping
Are
them on
you
their way out the
headed
door?
out for the? As soon as I see them both, Darian, are you headed out for the day?
I am. Do you wish to accompany?
Not yet. I thought it would be a good idea for at least the three of us to discuss what our plan is moving forward. But if you have urgent errands to run, I don't want to impose.
Well, let's see. I do have some things to attend to in the market. There are a lot of people in the household. The food is going a little bit more quickly as of late. I figured I'd restock on some things. Do you need anything while I'm in town?
If you all need to speak, I can take Zephyr and he can do the shopping. I've had him do it many times before. He no longer gets swindled most of the time.
Also, DM, I actually had a quick question.
Yes.
Regarding supplies, how hard would it be for Rin to have been stealing supplies and adding them to Darian's stores?
Oh. Never
What
mind.
kind of supplies is he
Supplementing.
planning on adding?
Not anything really expensive, just basic foodstuffs that tend to get used a lot. Bread, rice, that sort of thing.
I'd say that there's a very odd surplus in the kitchen from the past couple days, and no one in the house other than Rin understands why. And probably the only person
The
who's
flour
at
just keeps
all
lasting and lasting.
probably the only person who is at all noticed is Rain and maybe Zephyr,
Rain.
as she
Yeah,
makes
that
him do
checks
some
out.
of the cooking sometimes.
When you guys get the chance, you should Google the butter cat because that is absolutely an inspiration for Rin.
Yeah.
The butter cat.
Yep.
I will make a note of this.
Don't worry about it until
Yeah, no, I'm making it out. Well,
I mean, if I don't know if Rin
see.
is ready to discuss next steps yet, and
I
emphasizing his name loud enough to see if it catches his attention in the
What?
book.
Glad to see that character voice is coming along well.
Shut up.
took long enough.
Sorry.
What
do you want?
I mean, he's a changeling. Technically, if he wants to go each day is something different, he can.
You're not wrong.
He
Careful, don't
only
pull
changes his
Mario on
vocal
you.
cords. Please do not.
Don't
I
hurt
don't think
us.
I have the energy. I'm not strong enough.
What
Yes,
do you
what you
want?
want.
Are you ready to?
Ready to
Sorry,
what?
my internet cut out. Are you ready to discuss next steps?
What next step?
What we are doing next? I feel like we have been simply waiting and reacting rather than being proactive.
Well, you probably feel
Making-
that way because that's exactly what we've been doing.
How do you
It's funny how
content
that
to
works.
do it? You content to continue simply waiting for whatever orders come down from Keeper Najim, or should we discuss what we actually want to do rather than what is convenient for her?
You may certainly make an effort.
Sorry, Kelso, were you trying to communicate something? There was pointing fingers.
I
I'm
was.
puzzled.
Jacob doesn't notice when I ping him, so I was gesturing for him to look. It's fine.
Right.
Well,
I, for one. Oh, go ahead, Darian.
well, I know this is important and we do need to discuss it. But I do have some business I need to tend to. Um, I shouldn't be too long today. Wednesday isn't super busy. I might close up an hour or two. You guys probably aren't heading anywhere urgently today, right? We could talk this evening or this afternoon, rather.
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay. Zephyr,
You hear from the far room. What?
hey. Will you head by the store in a few hours? I have a list of shopping for you to do. It's not long, but more hands make
There's
less work.
There's a long sigh.
Don't
So
make
much
me get
for
my sister
I'm
after
not
you.
treating you like a child anymore.
Wait, hold on. Did you say don't make me get my assistant after you?
No, I said your sister. Same difference, but no, not what I said.
There's a brief pause and then long overdrawn movement as he stands and just kind of shuffles towards the door and walks past you. Fine, I'll get this over with. He walks past and continues down the road without you.
I was letting him come to the store later to get the list, but that is fine. Whatever. At least he's doing it.
I've given up on a Middle Eastern accent. I'm doing a fucking Irish.
Of course you
Do
are.
what you want.
Fair
I give
enough.
up.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You are more than welcome to. I will
Yeah.
say, if it helps
All
any,
right, that is.
there are actually quite a few Skaldron pirates who frequent the port of Corizos, so having picked up that kind of foreign accent actually makes a decent amount of sense.
Fantastic.
Look
They
at
are
the DM.
actually they're one of the main ships that buys slaves.
Noted. Also, look at the DM just instantly transitioning to, hey, this is a thing now. Here.
No, actually, that's always been a
dancing.
thing. That is
Oh, okay.
It's
legitimately
always been a thing. He's mentioned it before.
I probably forgot.
I
Why can't
can
you
tell
people
you
just
the
take a
name of the
compliment?
exact clan who does most of that hopping, but I'd have to pull up a different
Do I-
document, and I don't want to do,
Do
that.
I know the clan?
No, you would not.
Oh, so it's not the one
I-
I've been to.
Keith and Odin probably would have, but neither of them are here.
Yeah.
He probably died.
I was
It's
actually
fine.
just thinking about Odin, trying to remember how I came up with the surname of Hallfeather. And then I realized that I was doing a bad pun on Allfather.
Yes,
Oof.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like how I would name something.
Can
God,
confirm.
Pasty was a genius.
I have a friend who named his D&D character Jeff, and then we're like, cool, your fantasy revenant character is Jeff. And he's like, wait, no. His name used to be Jeff, and then when he came back as a revenant, his name became Goef. He literally just switched the order of the vowels in the name.
Oof.
Goof.
Well,
Goef.
Rain, shall we?
Sure.
Right.
As they're walking before they get too far into town,
Yeah, you got like a mile or two before you even make it to
Yeah.
the outer walls of the city.
so as they're walking, so I'm really hoping you're going to make this easier than it was when I told Zafir.
Well, not the temptation is to make you suffer for this, but go ahead.
You understand that
He
he and I do
said to
not
the
speak the same
17-year-old
language.
girl.
Try as I might. As of late with our guests, I have removed the way that we normally run the household, the understanding and arrangement that we have.
So I've
Food.
noticed.
Quite. I've done a lot of thinking over the past week or two, and things are not the way they were when I grew up, or my father, or certainly not my grandfather grew up. Things are different, and I need to learn to adapt to that. That is to say, that is going to be a permanent thing. Not just there, just anywhere. Where I'm no longer adhering to this old facade.
Of trying to not adhere to the cultural. You may have to use simpler words. You are speaking in circles around a point.
Of course I am. I always do.
I'm quite used to it. Take your time.
In public, even in public, I am no longer going to pretend that you are a servant of mine. And you do not need to either.
Do you feel this to be wise?
I think so. Like I said, things have changed, and we should change with them.
What has changed?
I have. Talking with Liberty and especially Rin. Rin makes a lot of good points, though I hate to give him such credit. Outside influences, they help you grow as a person. A difference of opinion, so to speak. They make you think about things, and I have done a lot of thinking, and it's irrelevant at this point. So, your papers and Zafir's papers of status have already been dealt with. I've held on to them for a while, but they're at home for safekeeping. But you are free to do as you please. I am not going to hold that or pretend to hold that over you anymore.
May I speak freely as to this decision?
You could always speak freely.
I feel this is a kind gesture. and I do appreciate it. You have been nothing but kind to me and Zephyr. And your protection has led us to be able to live a safe life.
Are you saying that you don't want to?
She looks over the city as you guys continue walking down the path, and from your position, you are in the foothills past the city and can actually see a decent ways in, seeing spires and towers and larger buildings, the Colosseum on the far side. Just a bit of the port out there. She mildly gestures towards the metropolis and says, "These people have not changed. Miss Liberty and Mr. Rin having them in our home has been a welcome change, and I am very thankful for being able to spend as much time with them as we have. However, their opinion on people of Zephyr's and my race is not a common thing. Nothing has changed out there. My people are still hunted and enslaved and made to live horrible lives. As long as that is true, the way you treat me in public must reflect that in some way. Otherwise, you will bring down upon all of our heads a reckoning that none of us is prepared for."
I suppose you are right. This is probably an old man's wishful thinking more than anything.
It is a good thought. Do not be discouraged.
I know. But
My reaction does not show the joy and appreciation that I have for the sentiment. But my more level head does question the sanity of such a decision for the public eye.
I suppose that is true. Well, you will. I suppose that spoils the other idea I had. Probably seems foolish now.
Most likely.
I was going to commission a new sign for the storefront.
We could use a new sign. The paint is chipping and the decal is hardly legible at this point.
Well, it was.
I barely remember the name of the shop at this point.
It's a good jab. I like that.
You're welcome.
Well, it was more than just the sign, actually. I was going to give you ownership of the store, at least in part, as my way of thanking you for all the hard work you've done and how dedicated you are. And it fills me with joy to see someone who loves reading as much as you do.
That is a heavy thing to hear. You see that she is visibly shaken from that. I won't lie, if the world was different, there is nothing I would like more, but
Of course, I understand. However, that said, I do agree with you, and with that in mind, I agree that people probably wouldn't receive such a notion very well. I will say, even though it would probably be assumed, but Brain, I trust you know that when I am to pass, I do leave everything to you and your brother.
You say such things to me, and I have so few responses. I.
They're out of character for me. I know. I know.
They aren't, though.
I am ever the optimist, and it's certainly a change of pace. But
It is not too great a deviation from the man that you have shown yourself to be.
This is true. Darian starts to roll up his sleeve a little bit. I'm going to be honest, Rain. As I said, I've done a lot of thinking. I really have, and I've done a lot of reflection over the last few days. Um, During our last job, not yesterday, but earlier this week, um, the guild wanted us to, and as a he does pointedly say a little bit more quietly, we were tasked with obtaining the shell of a flail snail in a distant land, and poaching is not necessarily not frowned upon out there. We did a little bit of research, but
We?
collectively, we as a group, we all did our part. Well, Rin rather, we were fetching supplies. Um, would you know it's the reason that they're so sought out for is they have a tendency to reflect magic and magic abilities, and at this point, all the way up into like probably half of his upper arm, all the way up to that point is visible, and the spider web of scar
Yeah.
black vein is visible to her.
She does mutter a few old curses under her breath, and she's very disappointed in you.
I happen to be first in line, and I reached out to strike it with a bolt of lightning, and well, I did hurt one of them, but the other sent it back at me, and I instantly passed. I instantly was unconscious. Zephyr dragged me out of the cave, and I did come rather close to death. And such an experience, it really makes one reflect on their life and the choices they have made. I just want to do right by you and your brother.
You have already done far more than anyone should.
But there is always more work to do.
You seem to picture this as almost making up for what the world is. And allow me to say that carrying the world on one's shoulders will break one's back. You cannot heave away the transgressions of an entire country, much less an entire world.
Lies. It can be done.
This is true, but in a way, it is one way to bring the world forward, is if you have to drag it kicking and screaming.
Is that truly what you wish to do?
No.
Well, if you truly want to change the world, You have already started with your own small part of it.
Of course. I just feel that there is always more to be done.
You always did bite off a lot more than you could ever chew.
I suppose.
However, allow me to offer some encouragement, as I have offered hardly any today. Those that you have been working with, I have been paying attention. I have seen Miss Liberty's kind heart. I have seen whatever Rin is.
He is a hard one to figure out, to say the least.
Mr. York is quite nice. And the woman in the red, I don't know if I know her name. She seems to have a drive. If you want to change the world, you are surrounded by many opportunities at this point. And I say that, and I immediately am kicking myself because I should not encourage you to bite off more.
I will take that in stride.
But by Sotir, you have gotten me hoping that the world could change. And I need to stop that.
Don't give up on that. Eventually, at least.
The sentiment is nice.
Eventually. One day.
You guys walk in silence for a little while. Was there anything else you would like to talk to Rain about?
What I said earlier, Rain. I do leave the store entirely to you when that. And everything else to you and your brother. But the store is yours. You have earned that.
Well, let us hope that the world is ready for something of that sort. Otherwise, you may be heaping a lot more pain upon me. And I know that's not what you want.
I suppose this is true. Nonetheless, your documents and his documents of status are at home. They are completely filled out and in a safe place.
I do appreciate all you have done for us.
I do have some specific shopping I need to do later, since Zephyr didn't even stop to listen. I can only do so much about his stubbornness. Maybe I'll run into him there. I'll stay here for a few hours, and then I'll need to do that because I'll need to do that before I go home, and those two are at home waiting for me to return to have that conversation. If you want to go home when I leave, you may. If you want to stay and run the shop a while longer, you can. That's up to you.
It depends on if I have found a good book to read during the time.
Of course. Just be sure
You
to tidy
guys-
up every now and again.
I suppose if I have to. Do you guys begin opening the shop? Back home, what are you two doing?
And that is my plan to take over the rest of the world.
You know, I had my doubts about the rubber ducks at the beginning, but by the end of it, I see how they fit.
Indeed.
It's really quite ingenious.
The smallest things can make or break a plan. Ah, shit, he's supposed to be Irish.
You'll get there.
Whatever
Do what
you
you
roll
will.
with is what you roll with. I
I know
mean, it can be explained, which is what
Celtic-
works.
This is a port city.
I know
You
the
could
Celtic
literally have
accent is-
any accent, and I don't care.
Hey, be honest, we kind of flex between them all, so it doesn't. It didn't really matter.
So what are you two
Fair enough.
doing other than discussing world domination with rubber ducks?
What are you discussing vis-a-vis the ducks?
Female revolution.
Okay,
that was-
so I vague.
I'll go
Go
based
ahead.
off what Liberty does.
Okay.
Oh, we both wait for the other person to do something. No. So for clarification, you mentioned at the end of last session that you were going to hang up the cloak with a note for Liberty. Is that
Yep.
somewhere in the? I don't remember where you said
Literally,
you
you
were
could
hanging
not
it
have
up.
possibly missed it because it was right in front of the door.
Of
Okay.
the house?
The house.
Okay, yeah, you would have seen it on your way in.
Okay, I think she probably just barely registered that her name was on the note, because she was more focused on getting Zephyr restored.
No, it was
But
like in
after-
front of them in the front door, like on the outside.
Yeah, no, allow me to make character decision to fit with current timeline.
Okay.
So now that
Yeah. Sorry. I go.
Because I was like, I've already come through the front door and didn't do anything with it. So, sorry, slow internet. So after breakfast has been put away, people have headed out. Now that we've got time to kill, she's going to remember the note, go back out, bring it inside. Believe the note just says the healer needs to be protected or stay alive.
Mm-hmm. The latter, not the former.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure about this, Rin? I know
Sure about
you've
what?
taken some.
Sure about what?
She holds up the cloak and the note. You've taken some very nasty hits in several of our latest fights.
Well, look at it this way. If I die, oh no, it's another knife. If you die, oh no, that's the healer. One of us has a priority, and it isn't me. I know my
Feels
place in
like
this world.
that is a good place to be, I think. And,
Hey, you should try it sometime.
well, each of us has our own journey, friend. I am making my way toward that. Pack the note away in my pack and pull on the cloak. Start attuning. And he doesn't seem to be.
As you
very-
attune to the cloak,
Yeah.
it over the next hour or so, you get to learn its properties about the extra protection as well as the extra bonuses to saving throws. You feel a little more protected against magic, and the cloak itself seems to almost morph a little to your style. Due to just basic enchantments, the color scheme changes ever so slightly.
Very nice. And then I guess I'll just kind of pull out my lyre and absentmindedly play a few tunes while we wait for Darian to get back.
All right. Rin, what are you doing?
Rin is staring at a chessboard.
Okay. It's riveting.
Is it
Riveting gameplay.
He's
These
playing
squares
No,
make
against.
circle, all these squares
he's
make
current-
circle, all
he-
these squares
he-
make circle.
He's currently playing against himself.
I'm just
Truly
picturing the old guy in the
unsurprising.
park at the beginning of Bug's Life.
You know, the thing
I have
is,
not
he
watched
could
this
do
one,
that because he is a
so-
changeling. He could absolutely do that Exactly.
Are you guys doing anything during
The
the
fake
couple
teasing
hours
might be a little
while
tricky.
Darian's gone?
Probably nothing excessive unless Liberty decides she has something else she wants to talk about. But Rin's fairly content keeping to himself.
I mean, it seems more engaged. She might reapproach the apology conversation. I I don't know if you heard me before. I know you were preoccupied. I'd like to apologize for how I spoke to you yesterday. It was
Foolish?
in a
Yes.
yes, and you did not deserve to be snapped at like that. I let my emotions carry me away and lashed out at you, and I am
Hey, I
sorry.
would disagree. I know exactly what kind of person I am. I know full well how abrasive I can be. However, I also know that you needed a swift kick in the pants.
I
If
appreciate.
you if you mire yourself down in your own misery, you're never gonna drag yourself out of it.
That is true.
People are always going on and about how important memory is, but memory is like an anchor. If you hold too tight of it, you'll drown.
That is, there is truth to that. However, there is a danger in forgetting too much or taking memories of the past too lightly.
Well, no
There are
shade.
lessons.
I'm standing before you, aren't I?
I assume so. I've learned that trusting my eyes of late can be
Will I
deceptive.
be a pinnacle example of that, aren't I?
Yes, yes, you have. Thank you. At this point, probably start. That's probably about the time that she then kind of pulls out the lyre and is plucking a few tunes.
All right. A few hours later, Darian, you've helped open the shop, headed out, done some shopping. Didn't find Zephyr, but that's not terribly surprising.
Okay.
He tends to either like speed shop or get really distracted.
That
And there's
is...
no in between.
Yep. Since he was doing the rest of the shopping of intangible objects and foods, the only thing I actually went and bought was just another barrel of lye.
Okay.
Rin disappeared for I just decided Rin disappears for a couple hours today, and and when he gets back, there is more meat in the pantry than there was when he left.
Valid. I'll say that about that time, it's about 3:30ish p.m. When Darian makes it home. Rin, you've already made it home.
Yep.
Liberty, I assume you've just been kind of lounging about the place.
Pretty much. Once I'm sort of left on my own, I'll pull out my book and scratch in a few words, things that I've been thinking on. I'll even throw in a quote from Rin. Which one was it? Yeah, she'll write down one or two of the things that Rin said that struck a chord with her.
A little after noon, Zephyr did show up with a couple of sacks. Pretty much unceremoniously toss them into the storage room and then barely acknowledging you before heading upstairs to his own room.
Alright.
But Darian, you
Fair.
walk in to Liberty sitting on one of the sofas, appearing to be enveloped in a journal or some study book. Rin is not in the main room, but you're not sure if he's home or not.
Liberty's bag is like right next to her. Every
Her
time
what?
she moves like to a new chair or whatever, she's her like bag or
Oh,
backpack, whatever.
I thought you said her back. I'm like, what?
No,
I should hope so.
that's the whole other thing. Yeah, no, like her backpack of stuff.
Yeah.
She hasn't left it on a chair in the other room or anything. She's been keeping it with her wherever she moves to.
Liberty, I trust you weren't too terribly bored today.
I
Is
mean,
anybody here? Is it just
Rin
you?
usually Rin and I spoke for a bit. He said something about needing to go run an errand or to speak with someone. He was not entirely clear about it, but I didn't feel it necessary to ask him of details.
If
Zafir
Rin had
got
said
back.
anything, he would have said something about talking to someone about a goat.
About
No,
a goat?
he said something. He said something about seeing a man about a goat, but then he was gone for some time, so he may have meant that literally.
If anything, I'd be worried that
Um,
he didn't mean that literally, knowing him. He takes a point to speak
I mean,
differently. But I suppose I am, in my own way, not too different. Though that is not intentional.
I would say that even when we are all speaking common, we speak different dialects depending on our occupations and our stations.
True, very true.
So Rin's common, your common, and my common are all closer than, say, a common across the continent or on another continent.
Quite.
That's just far enough. Zafir did come home. Some time ago, he went straight to his room after wrapping up some packages over there.
Of course he did. I'll put them away later. Sort through 'em myself. Well, I don't imagine it makes much sense to discuss matters if he's gone now. How was your travels last night? You parted ways yesterday, I believe. You went somewhere else and you came here today, so
I needed to revisit the shrine, pray for some clarity.
yesterday was difficult, to say the least.
Indeed.
I
No, go ahead.
I'm I've done my share of prying and I apologize for that, but I will continue. Not as accusatory this time though.
Sorry, not sorry.
Kind of, yeah. You certainly were different yesterday. I know Rin was muttering something to you, presumably about it, given his tone. Couldn't really pick up what he was saying. I was not going to bring up the subject until at a better time. It seems kind of in character for him to just press the subject, though. But you definitely had a way about you yesterday, more than normal. Do you want to talk about it?
Do not be too hard on Rin. He said what he felt I needed to hear in the moment. It was well intentioned. I don't mind talking about it at least a little. That was a very harrowing experience. That creature we fought was more intimidating than anything we've come across since. I
Yeah. Although to be fair, I did die at one point almost. But yeah, I certainly want to go
there
back down
were
there anytime soon.
From the other room, you hear a laugh and a snort.
Oh, maybe he is here. Either that or he haunts my
I
waking moments as well.
I mean I
Saying, I
heard
hunt
that
your
once.
dreams.
That is the joke, yes.
Little into character romance, I see.
No.
I
That's not
really
what I
wish the
said.
audience could see Jacob's face right now. You didn't say it, but inferences were made from what you did say. Haunting can have many connotations, but that is neither here nor there.